Hello, I'm Sylvia Henderson, the host of Idea Success TV, and welcome to the show. My guest today is CatStancik, and she is a high-powered action coach, and in fact, not action coach in terms of the company, but a high-action coach. And action is in just about everything she does and says and has, because her website, her email is actionincubator.com. So action is going to be prevalent in everything. And in fact, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about action, only something you may not have heard of, and that is action deficit disorder, which has got an intriguing term to it. So just real quickly, why are we talking to you about, why am I talking to you about action deficit disorder?
Yeah, my life has always been about achieving, right? So I have 5 sisters.
Oh my goodness.
I know. And don't even say poor dad, because he totally deserves it. So there's 6 girls in the house, right? And the only way you're going to get attention is by taking action. And there's this constant state of competition, right?
Oh, man, yeah.
My life has been about achieving more, not just because I wanted to outshine them, hashtag achieved, but but because I always had a mission to have high impact. And the only way to do that is by taking focused and driven action. And that is something that I've realized, that when someone asks me, what is it that you're good at doing? I literally came up with, I get shit done.
Okay.
And so I realized that was the impact that I could have in the world, was to actually help more people get more of what they needed to get done so that they could show up better in the world and in turn have their impact achieved.
I named a workshop that one time.
Get shit done?
Yeah. Get out of your head and get shit done.
There we go. It's a universal message.
So action deficit disorder sounds like you're not in action.
Yeah. Well, and you're either not in action or and I've said this before, you're actioning all over the place, right? And so you're not really focused in the action that you're taking, and you're just kind of spazzing. So there's a great diagram that I like to do and show a lot of times. And you guys, listeners, here we go. We are going to take action right now. You can take a piece of paper and draw a circle.
Okay.
And if you draw arrows all around it going out, that is usually what entrepreneurs show up as, right? So they're taking action. They're kind of all over the place. Now, take that center circle and move it over and draw one arrow.
Okay.
High achieving into the sky. Do you see the difference when you're actioning on a whole bunch of different things versus focusing that energy on one action? You achieve more. You actually accomplish what you set out to do versus actioning a whole bunch of different stuff, and you keep doing that over and over again, and you're only going to make a little bit of progress versus really going all the way deep and accomplishing what it is that you set out to do.
I think many people are we're afraid that all the other things that they didn't focus on will get lost. Mm-hmm. And, but there's potential here, and there's potential here, and there's potential here.
Right. We're taught to diversify.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the problem is when and don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
And I'm not saying don't not do other things, but pick one goal and one strategy and put a lot of attention towards it. And when you have that goal and strategy in place, when something pops up as something you could be doing, you're going to be able to say no to that opportunity and say yes to what it is you're actually wanting to achieve, right? Because distractions pop in all the time.
Every day.
It's like you're on a diet, right? And you say, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds, and I'm fully committed to losing 10 pounds. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to not eat as much of the sweet things. I'm going to eat some. And I'm going to exercise some. And maybe you don't even exercise. You just pick out how that strategy is. Well, you go to a party and someone offers you a cake and you say, no. Could you take time and eat it? Sure. Is it something that would be delicious? Sure. But it's not aligned to your goal.
Okay.
10 minutes later, someone says, well, here's an eclair, because there's more trays of eclairs coming out because they like to stuff people at parties. And you say, no, I'm trying to achieve my goal. Mm-hmm. Right? And then maybe the third time you say, okay, I'll take a nibble, right? But you don't eat the whole thing.
Right.
Right? You eat part of it because you have a goal that you're focused on. Are you losing out because you're not eating the cake and you're not eating the eclair and you're not eating this other dessert? No. You're accomplishing your goal because that's what's more important to you.
And ironically, people get jealous more than anything else when you do accomplish that goal. It's just amazing.
Well, that's a lack mentality. You know, and I've seen it over and over again where someone does something and they attack them because you get triggered.
Yep.
If you have a negative reaction to someone else achieving something, you have a trauma in your life that you need to rewrite or overcome.
That's on you. Yeah.
Right? And that's on you. That's your own shit.
Yep.
So don't put your shit on someone else.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But look at it as an I welcome triggers. I don't like when they happen, but they happen, and I welcome them because it's an opportunity for personal development so that I show up better in the world so that then I'm inspirational for other people.
Yeah, but isn't that because you're a strong person, you're a strong personality, that you welcome that? I mean, so many people
I had to get to that point.
Ah.
Oh, hell no. Oh, no. I just wrote an email about this today. Don't you ever feel like you want to just go under the covers, throw your hand up in the air and tell the world to fuck off?
Because people see the success, or people see where you are now. I get constantly, oh, I wish I was, and I think, you don't know what I just did yesterday.
Yeah.
Or you don't know the breakdown I just had last week.
Hell, it could have been 10 minutes ago.
True.
Right?
Yeah. People really, they focus on what they see, and they don't know that it took something to get there.
Well, and then they compare themselves to the wrong people. Right? So the comparison game of, could I compare myself to Tony Robbins or Brene Brown or to Amy Porterfield or any of these people, right? Sure, I could. Would I always set myself up for disappointment? Absolutely. I need to compare myself. If I want to compare myself to them, compare yourself to them when they were where you're at.
I worked with Lisa Nichols.
What did they do?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I worked with Lisa Nichols several years ago.
Yeah.
And she was already up here, well known. And one of the questions I asked back then was, I said, how do I be you tomorrow? And she essentially stood there and told everybody, me and everybody, she said, No. Who you see now is 20 years ago.
Right.
Or took 20 years to achieve.
Right.
She said, you're back where I was. She said, well, okay, you're okay. So I'll say 15 years ago.
Right. But that's what they say.
So
it takes 15 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah, that's what I've told many people. I said, when people say, woo, she's an overnight success, I told my partner, I said, make sure you tell them that it's been 17 years.
Yeah. It's and everything. You can take your entire life. Your entire life is led up to where you are right now.
Yep.
And it's about what you're doing now to get to the tomorrow that you want. All the realities exist. How you action and what you focus on will create the reality that you want. So if you're focused on what you don't have, what you wish you had, then you're going to create a reality where you have more of less. If you focus on what it is that you would like more of, how you're going to plan to achieve it, then you're going to create that reality for yourself.
So what are the 3 action steps?
So one of the things you need to do...
3 simple steps.
3 simple steps. So the first thing you need to do is actually project manage. These are not complicated things. You need to actually organize yourself.
Project management. That's so corporate.
I know. But you have to... You can create yourself into a tool so that's not just, Microsoft spreadsheets and Microsoft PowerPoint. I mean, project, right? Like, you don't need to do that.
Right.
There are actually free tools. One of the best free tools, because I always like to take the monetary excuse off the table, is Asana. Asana is a project management tool, and there's a ton of different ones, 17 Hats and, Simpology and all this other stuff, right? But you can get started with this one for free. Simpology is free too. I like Asana because it's a little bit more project managey. Simpology is more about managing your tasks. You can delegate things in Asana, right? You can have a team on there. You can actually have other people input onto your day. My husband did try to delegate tasks to me. That did not turn out well. That was a very serious conversation of he's not allowed to tell me what to do.
That's like trying to coach your spouse or your partner.
Don't do it. Do not go into business with friends and family. Don't try to sell your services to them, okay? Just walk away from that because that is just issues.
But an important distinction, too, you said project, the Asana was project management, and
Symbologies for managing your tasks.
So tasks come under
Exactly. So you always want to, it's just like a goal. You're going to reverse engineer them. You're going to break them down into tasks that you can accomplish in action. So one of the other tips and steps that you can do is actually take a break. Walk the fuck away from your desk. It is not about pushing. I wrote an article about this. You're at an elevator and you push the button. You push a button, you push a button, you push a button. The elevator's not coming any faster.
Yeah, but it feels good.
Yeah, sure it does. And you're creating all this negative energy and you're sitting there and you're stewing, but like, fuck, isn't it coming? Why isn't it coming? Why isn't it coming? So you push the elevator, you push the intention button in the universe, right? And you say, this is what I want. Spend that time while you're waiting for the opportunity to present itself, the door opening for you to walk through, doing something more productive. It could actually mean taking 30 seconds and meditating. It could mean breathing. It could mean stretching. It could mean, sending a loving message to someone, right? Putting more positive intention out into the world. It could mean going to the bathroom, right? Whatever it is you need to do, know that you've set the intention, and so what are the actions that are going to support that, so that when you step through that opportunity, you're going to show up in the best way. So a lot of times it's easy for us to work in 90-minute increments, right? So you work for 90 minutes. There's something about the number 9, the number 3, 90-minute increments. Your brain works well. You time chunk it, and then walk away. It's not about pushing through and doing more. It's about being focused and making sure that what you are doing is quality, right? And then the third thing is make sure you're doing what you love. Work within your unique brilliance, right? And so here's a little quick 30-second exercise. You draw a quadrant, right? So draw a square, put 2 lines so that there's 4 squares. Okay. Top left, your unique brilliance. These are the things that you would do all day and any day for free, right? Like you have imagine you have $1 million in the bank, right? This is what you would do for free. Okay. Top right quadrant is things that you're excellent at doing, but you'd probably have to be compensated for it, some form or another. Bottom left is things that you don't really like doing. You can do it, but meh. Okay. Right? And you got to be paid a lot to do it. Bottom right is things you hate, basically abhor, right? So filing for me. You can't pay me enough to file. You just cannot pay. I will throw things at you if you ask me to file. Can't do it. Won't photocopy for you. I will not scan. I will not do that shit. And I had to do them at one point in life. And do the things, 80% of your revenues will come from that top left quadrant, right? It's that 80-20 rule, right? So 80% of your revenues will come from 20% of your efforts, right? And that's mindset too. So if you focus on that top left quadrant, that's where your money's going to come from.
Okay, cool. So how do people get more of you if they can handle it?
Oh, yeah. If you can handle me, you can find me on Facebook at my Facebook page, Action Incubator, online at www.actionincubator.com, and in my Facebook group, Driven Action on Facebook. And if you would like a free gift, and this is the stuff that I get paid thousands of dollars to teach, you can check it out at www.actionincubator.com/3 shifts, as in I drive a stick shift. There's an S at the end there, and you can download your ebook to get 3 shifts to bank 6+ figures in profits without making much more effort.
All right.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Thanks. The time keeps flying, but so thanks for being on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
All righty. And so this is Idea Success TV. I'm Sylvia Henderson, your host, and I invite you to tune in to the next show. And with that, we'll be back next time.